In this video, we're going to go over a tip in regards to gutter cleaning. In particular, we're going to talk about a recommendation that we give to people that just bought a house, okay? And this is not a new construction home, but this is a recommendation that we can give to people that just acquired a non-new construction home. So as long as the home is like 5+ years old, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc., we see those very frequently in this area is very much the kind of the stage or the age of a lot of these buildings. But as long as it's not a new home, okay, so if it's 5 or 10 years plus old, this is a great recommendation to give to owners that just moved into a home like that. So oftentimes, someone that's going to move into a 10-year-old home, a 15-year-old home, etc., obviously that property was in the hands of someone else prior. The prior owner typically does not maintain the property to the degree that they would benefit from if they were to be living in that house for 5 or 10 or 20 more years. So very frequently, they're kind of neglecting certain things. And the most common thing that they're going to neglect, at least it's just relevant to our services, is gutter cleaning. So let's say it's a 15-year-old home. The person sells it to a new buyer. Maybe that old owner hadn't cleaned it for 5 or 10 or 15 years. That happens very frequently and almost every time because gutter cleaning is a very infrequent thing to do before the home sale, because the buyer of the home isn't checking the gutters. They're not checking to see that there's lots of debris and there's a clog and there's potentially water damage coming from that. They're going inside and checking out the living room and the bedrooms and the things that they care about, not the unobvious things like dirty gutters. So very, very frequently, the person that is going to buy a home that's not new construction, like a 10-plus-year-old home, they're going to have debris in the gutters. So the first thing that we should recommend when we meet someone that just bought a non-new construction home is to clean the gutters, because very frequently those gutters are going to be full of debris that they inherited, they accumulated over the duration of the building from the prior owner. That prior owner gave that new owner a great gift, dirty gutters. They should clean those gutters, because that's a huge source of potential water damage. That is like worst case scenario for that person. That person that just bought the home probably wants to stay there for 5 or 10 or more years with their family or with their spouse or whoever they acquired the home with. They probably want to stay there a long time. That's why they just bought the house. And one great maintenance thing that they should be aware of is that the fact that they probably inherited dirty gutters. So clean the gutters. And then by doing that service, that's a great way to prevent water damages that could accumulate, as well as kind of lay the foundation for maintenance into the future. So especially in the case of the home being a rental formally, like if the new owner bought the home from the prior owner and that owner rented it out, or in the case that owner was a senior, those are the two scenarios in which I particularly see negligence from the prior owner. Because a rental, the owner, the actual owner, is not here. The renter is not cleaning the gutters. The owner should be cleaning the gutters. But because of the separation of the owner not being on the property, typically that's something that can be neglected in the case of a rental. And then if the new owner acquired the home from a person of age, a senior, let's say, like that 85-year-old grandpa is probably not cleaning the gutters very frequently. So very frequently, that 85-year-old grandpa has dirty gutters. He sells the home to someone else, and that new person acquired a house with dirty gutters because they weren't cleaned in the last 15 years because he had hip surgery and couldn't climb a ladder and whatever his life circumstances were. It's a great recommendation. Give it to every single person that we meet that discloses that, yeah, I just bought this house. It's a 10-plus-year-old home. Say, okay, great. In our experience, you're very, very likely going to be accumulating or you've inherited debris that accumulated during the time in which the home was in the possession of the prior owner. So what I'd recommend, since it's your first year in that property or you acquired it recently in the last couple years and you haven't cleaned it yet, is clean the gutters. Make sure there's no clogs formed because they could be passing on water damage at that time if you don't remediate the clogs, for instance. So give that recommendation to every new owner, new purchaser of a non-new home.